Good evening, everyone. We are continuing our coverage on a major fire that is going on right now in Midland County. We have evacuations off of Highway 1788 and Midkiff Road. This is in the county, not in the city. Midkiff Road, which is South County Road 1210. We have a very dangerous situation on our hands right now. We know at least 19 structures have burned, and we have several fire departments helping with the blaze.
That's right. It's 12 fire departments, 40 units on the scene. We also have the Texas Forest Service. They have their air tankers up trying to get this under control. People have been evacuated to the SHAP Center. They're expecting between 100 to 200 people there, and they're telling people who have family members that they can stay with to stay with them because they're trying to make room for the people who don't have anywhere to go. So again, between 100 to 200 people expected at the SHAP Center. We do have some new video of the fire that's burning in Midland County. We'll get that to you shortly, but taking a look at this is the area where that fire continues to burn tonight.
And Tom, this is a very dangerous situation, is it not? I mean, we're looking at the winds are fanning and fueling these flames. They've eaten. Oh, here's our new night video we just got in. Look at that. That looks like a line of fire. It is a line of fire. That is incredible video right there. You can see the glow of the embers. Again, this is in Midland County. People in the area of 1788 and Midkiff Road, which is South County Road 1210, have been evacuated, and this is why. Those flames are lighting up the night.
And they've continued to, this fire's continued to grow throughout the night. You can see those flames there.
Look at that ember and those glows. You can kind of see right there that looks like maybe an emergency vehicle.
Right. Part of the problem that the firefighters saw today was that they got some areas of this fire out and then it flared up again when those winds continued to kick up. But you can see there off on the horizon that line of fire that just spreads out across. You can't really see the smoke tonight, but we're still dealing with smoke. You can actually smell the smoke here at the station now. And it smells pretty bad. You can smell it here at the station. We were getting viewer responses.
I was talking to my family, saying they were saying the same thing in town, that they can actually smell the smoke. We've actually had people from Big Spring thinking there was a fire in Big Spring. Here's some video right now. These are some of the people that have been told to evacuate, to stay out. As you can see, they are watching that fire and probably sitting there wondering if one of their homes was burned. We know 19 structures have burned. Some of those were homes. We don't know how many homes. They could also be buildings, other structures. We know there's a lot of oil-filled equipment out there.
Power lines, power poles.
A lot of people use propane tanks out there. So, again, people are being blocked off. You're seeing them being blocked off here at 1788 and south of I-20, that area. That whole little square is blocked off, and there are a lot of people that are waiting.
People that are just waiting nervously to find out anything about their homes. Again, 19 structures have gone up in flames. Those folks being told to go to the Midland SHAP Center at Midland College, between 100 to 200 people expected there. And you can imagine this is a very nerve-wracking situation for these people who are just waiting on word for what exactly has burned. This could be outbuildings. We imagine some homes have burned. A number of things are out there. We have barns. It could be anything that has gone up in
livestock,
flames.
you know, if anybody has any livestock out there. It's just a very powerful image seeing that. It is a wall of flames, and it just keeps moving. In fact, let's go to Chief Meteorologist Tom Teller. Tom, while we look at this night video, can you tell us a little bit about the wind gusts that firefighters are dealing with right now and how fast those flames are moving?
Well, the winds have calmed down just a few miles per hour. We're still carrying a south wind now at 22 miles an hour, and the winds have been a little problematic for firefighters this afternoon. I know they've been tracking those very closely because we've been carrying a west-southwest wind to a southwest wind to a south-southwest wind to a south wind. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot in a change of direction, but it really has affected which way the winds are propelling this grass fire, which way they're going, so they've been kind of shifting around. And something that a lot of times firefighters want to do is they want to get behind the fire to where it's already been. It's called attacking from the black, meaning the ground that's been burned already. You want to be firmly in that position and have the flames in front of you moving away from you. And that's how you start to put the fires out. Well, with wind shifting, that's going to be a problem. We're carrying a south wind now, but we're expecting a west wind to really start to move in here over the next few hours, and it will pick up quite a bit. Now, what we have on the screen there for you is we do have the area marked off that's been evacuated due to ongoing fire operations and the locations of at least the hot spots in this large fire there. This is an area south of Interstate 20, west of State Highway 349, east of FM 1788, near South County Road 1210 or Midkiff Road, and areas west to around County Road 160. It's about in those areas there where they are continuing to battle this blaze. Now, we're going to clear off this information and put the radar back on to show you a little bit more what we're dealing with in the way of the smoke plumes. Now, the smoke plume has not shown up quite as well because we've had an increase in humidity, and the radar is actually starting to pick up a little bit of that moisture. But as we look back off to the west, we have the smoke plume from the fire near and northeast of the Fort Davis area that is continuing to move smoke up the line across portions of Reeves County into the western Permian Basin, and it looks like all the way up into Andrews County again across the western Permian Basin. Something I have noticed here past few hours, it looks like the fire may be starting to get a little bit of a handle on it. We're not seeing the continuous smoke plume from where the fire is located here in and around areas just to the east and southeast of Fort Davis. Again, it's about in that area right in there. And maybe a little bit off to the east. That's where we've been getting the reports on the location. We're not seeing the continuous smoke plume out of it.
Real quickly on some new evacuations. If you can pull the map back up to the Midland County area.
Yes, we can.
County Road 150 near there, west of 1788, has now been evacuated. That means
the fire has shifted.
The fire has shifted. If you can zoom in there and see if we can get a better look on that.
Let me get this radar off very quickly here.
Again, this is near County Road 150, west of 1788. Folks are being asked to evacuate that area right now.
And remember, it was east of it earlier. Before. So it's either jumped 17.
But it's getting dangerously close to that area if it hasn't already jumped.
And you know, David, we're off of 1788. We're right in between Midland and Odessa off of Interstate 20. We're right off 1788. And I can tell you in the studio here that the smoke...
The smell is
horrible.
Right. And that smell has gotten worse over the past hour or so. We didn't smell it at first, and now you can really smell it.
It's really, really thick here. So now the fire is going west of 1788. This is a real bad situation right now.
So again, if you live in that area near County Road 150 west of 1788, you're being asked to evacuate now. The Midland SHAP Center is where you're being told to go. They're expecting between 100 to 200 people. That, of course, could probably increase now that they're evacuating a whole other area. Again, SHAP Center, you're only being told to go there if you don't have someone already to stay with. If you're staying with a family member here, stay with them. They want to make room for the people who have nowhere to go tonight. And again, another evacuation area, County Road 150 west of 1788. We also want to get you updated on what's going on in Fort Davis. We're getting word from KRTS, the Marfa Public Radio Station, that at least 60 power poles are down in that area, and the immediate concern are those power lines that are across the roads.
They're afraid that they might actually be live power lines, so if you come across one of those, don't get near it. Also, here's the scary part. Because of all these power poles that are down, they may not have electricity until sometime Monday or Tuesday. Now, again, this is according to Marfa Public Radio, KRTS, and they're saying if you rely on electricity for medical reasons,
to make an alternate plan. Now, they're working to de-energize those power lines, but if you come across any down power lines, you obviously want to avoid that area because they could be live right now. At least 60 poles. Power's out at least until Monday. Again, if you rely on the power for medical reasons, you're being asked to find an alternate plan right now.
Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Tom Teeverteller to tell us a little bit more about that fire going on. Tom, you were mentioning that things were looking a little bit different on the radar over there.
Yes, and again, what we have it zoomed into right now, I wanted to just kind of give you some of the geography around. This is South County Road 150, or I should say East County Road 150. Here's County Road 160 in this location here. 1788 here. Well, it's not the best drawing there, but this is 1788. This is County Road 1270. So that's in this area is right in here, again, where we are starting to see the new evacuations being reported there. Now we're going to widen out a little bit and show you again what we are dealing with back off to the south and southwest. Again, we're not seeing the continuous smoke plume like we were associated with that fire. Let's give me the track tool there. There we go. And again, that's what we are looking at. Again, seeing that smoke plume continue to billow there north and northeast of Fort Davis, but we're not seeing it trailing all the way back to where the fire is located. Again, that is this location right in here is where we've seen that fire continue to burn, and it's not doing quite the same like it was. So they may be getting a little bit of improvement in that. I really hesitant to say that because of, again, the radar beam is not quite, the atmosphere around the radar is not quite as dry as it was because we've seen an increase in the humidity by about 10%, now about 22%. So the radar beam is diffuse a little bit more. We may not be getting quite the tracking of that smoke plume like we once were. Now, as we put the Doppler radar into motion, we do have that cold front starting to move in from the west. You can see the line associated with it right in there again, just to the east of I want to say Unison Jowl. That is the next gust of wind that's going to be associated with this, and unfortunately that's going to move across the Midland, Odessa area, and we are seeing those wind gusts again continue to increase a little bit, but this is tracking the smoke plume here over the past few hours. Again, it's not looking like it was quite as strong here in just a second. Again, as we zoom in a little bit, we are not seeing that smoke plume again quite as prevalent as we once did, but it still is there in about the same location, and we're still tracking smoke off of that. Now let's get an update on the wind situation. We're going to go to meteorologist Emily Borchard, who's going to get us up to date on what she is looking at there. Emily?
That's right. Winds this afternoon were peaking anywhere near 48 miles per hour. That's what we saw them here in Midland, a peak wind gust at 48 miles per hour out of the southwest. So we are still seeing winds and the higher elevations very strong in that 60 mile per hour range. That's why a high wind warning is in effect for our mountain areas. Guadalupe Pass right now still seeing that wind gust at 64 miles per hour. We're seeing winds gusting here in Midland at 33 miles per hour. And do we have that graphic with the sustained winds? Sustained winds are still anywhere between 15 and about 20 miles per hour. So sustained wind here in Midland is at 22 miles per hour. It is beginning to shift a little bit more out of the south-southeast. We have a dry line just to our south that is beginning to move to the north-northwest, and that's why we are seeing a little bit more moisture, a little bit more humidity in the area. And here again are those wind gusts still very strong between 25 to 30 miles per hour and higher in the higher elevations. We were talking earlier, we were using this map to tell you about visibilities, how they had been decreasing with that smoke plume. Visibilities have improved to that near perfect 10 miles out here in Midland at 8 miles out. When you look at this graph, 10 miles out is perfect visibility. So again, in our southern areas where that smoke plume was very evident and radar near Fort Davis, we were seeing lowered visibility.